What is up, everybody, and welcome to Airbnb Day Heffrey. I'm Jeff. Where's my buttons? You guys hear that? We'll see if we're joined in a second by Bryan Broaddus. I got moving late a little this morning, so he got a link a little late this morning. I texted him. We'll see. We'll see if he gets here, if he pops up. I was going to play, and we can play, a little game of Would You Rather for the NFL draft because I always think it's fun, right? Here's the general idea. The general idea is you tell me the two positions that the Cowboys need the most. We play around with the idea of do we think it would work out better for them if they take the first one in the first and the second one in the second, or the other way around. So what I need people in the chat to give me your two biggest Dallas Cowboy needs. And free agency is going to screw it up. So I welcome and I admit
Okay. Nope. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There it is. Options in there. This happened to me a while ago. I'm back. I should be back. I should be back. I wonder why that happens. It has two different options for the same microphone, and it kicks over to one for no reason. But it's the same product, but it just kicks over there. But it looks like I'm back, according to me. Let's see. Jeff, back. Am I back? Am I back? Hey, sometimes on the road, what you get is train wrecks. It's just what you get. Got him. I don't understand. I'm a bad streamer. I'm a bad content creator. Because I use this product that I tell it what my audio source is, and it goes, great, thanks. And then sometimes in the middle of the stream, it kicks over to a different one for no reason, even though it's the same thing. I don't even care. We're going to play the game. Jerry hired some hackers. Could see that. Just talking to my coworkers last night at All City, and I was like, I could see Jeff not getting a credential this year for Cowboys camp. But what are you going to do? Okay, let's play the game. We're playing the game. Let me get my chat back up. Oh, man, what a bad content creator Jeff is. All right, here we go. Brian will be with us in a second. Thank God he's wearing pants. Did I stand up? You could tell. All right, wide receiver, offensive tackle, running back, wide receiver, running back, defensive line. The game we're going to play is you take one in the first round, you take one in the second round from each of those positions, and we try to figure out how does this draft look, which one could work out better, which thing might the Cowboys do, and please God, Jerry Jones sign some free agents so we don't have to pick these positions. I'd like to thank Antone. This is the energy we need in the world. While everything goes wrong, he says, "You're doing great. I appreciate you helping me dodge the accountability. I appreciate that. I have not had any beers or fireballs. It is 9 a.m. I've slept for 4 hours. I did not go out last night. I just couldn't fall asleep. And we're ready to rock." D-line and linebacker. There's another one to throw in there. Okay, let me throw that in there. D-line and linebacker. By the way, for all of your Cowboys content, go to youtube.com/@DLLS_sports. When I tell you that Clarence Hill and Joe Hoyt are hustling their nuts off, and we have so much content, and the beauty of it is we don't have to have it all on the show, because our show and where we keep all our content is on YouTube and in podcast. You can just go find all the little individual things. And there are so many things for you to choose from. So many awesome people they've talked to. Hey, Brian.
Hey, good morning, Jeffrey. How we doing?
You fix your audio, or maybe it's just my audio that I can't hear you. I don't know.
Oh, I think it's probably you.
I can't hear Brian. Can y'all hear Brian? That's what I need to know, because I can't hear Brian.
I think I'm on. I think I'm on where I need to be, Jeff. I think I'm
another
on
setting I need to change. Hold on.
Yeah.
Watch this. Audio.
Yeah.
Default.
Yeah.
No, that's definitely right. No, that's right. Something's wrong.
It's me. I'm good. Right, I think I'm good. I'm green. I'm green.
I got nothing,
green.
Brian. What is this? What are you doing?
All right. Bye,
oh,
Jeff.
Wait. Oh, you know what?
Yeah.
I have my volume turned down. You're fine the whole time.
Yeah. How about that?
You're fine.
Sorry about that, Jeffrey. Sorry about that. I get out of whack when I get out of town. So my apologies.
Me too. We didn't have Wi-Fi yesterday. I was thinking I was going to have to text you this morning and tell you we can't do the show. Then I woke up and the Wi-Fi turned on at 8:30, and I was like, I guess we can do the show.
Yeah, there we go. Sorry about that, folks. Didn't mean to be late on you today.
It's okay. I've been a train wreck. Everything's broken.
Why did you and I wake up with the same idea of like we're like a couple of mimes here, like, pantomime kind of guy.
Just a couple of classy guys.
Couple of classy guys throwing on the dry fit, doing a little show.
Just a couple of classy guys. So here's what I came up with today, Brian. It's a game of Would You Rather.
Okay.
What I've done is I've asked the people in the chat to give me 2 positions that they view as a Cowboys position if need. And what we're going to do is we're going to pick a guy for him in the first round and a guy for him in the second round at those 2 positions. Then we're just going to flip it, and we're going to pick the other position first and the other one second. We're going to try to get a feel for how this draft might look. That's what we're going to do.
Alrighty. Sounds good.
He's like, yeah, whatever. I'll punch you in the face, Jeff.
No, I'm good. I just had to pull up my board, so I made sure I knew which player I'd take. I think I can do this off the top of my head. I hope I can.
I think so too. Okay, here's the 4 options that we have from the chat: wide receiver and offensive tackle.
Okay.
Running back and wide receiver. Running back and defensive lineman. Defensive lineman and linebacker. So you can pick which of these assortments.
Okay, the linebackers. The linebacker one's going to be really, really tough. You're probably looking more, depending on what you think. The best linebacker in the draft might not actually be a linebacker. If you think about that, Walker.
Okay,
from Georgia.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some people that think that he could be very much like a Micah Parsons type of a player, play off ball. Micah is not the best off ball linebacker you have. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's a better pass rusher, I think, than a linebacker. I don't know if many people would agree to that. We'll see. But I kind of feel like that maybe Walker from Georgia is the same type of guy. You have a pass rusher that can play linebacker, and I think he actually plays linebacker better than Micah. That's just my opinion.
Wow, that's some shots fired. That's some real shots fired right there.
Well, no, I mean, do you see him as an edge only, right?
No, I see him as a guy that can play. Wait, which guy?
The Georgia kid, Walker.
Oh, Jalen Walker? No. Yeah. I think he can. No, I think he can play both, and I think you're right. I just like to pretend that other people have said something that's offensive, and then see them scramble. That's what I like to do.
No, I was talking with a scout buddy of mine in the league, and they feel like that Walker, as an every down edge, could get swallowed up.
Sure.
Not the biggest guy, and weight wise and stuff. And do you there's people in the league, and my friend in the league who's scouting for one of these teams, he thinks that Walker should be an inside linebacker and use him as a situational pass rusher when necessary. But he thinks that it's very similar to what you get with Micah that way. But if you play him at full-time edge, him having to fight bigs all day is going to be a problem.
Yeah.
So
Jalen Walker, what do you?
But
have
I know
listed? I forgot his height, but he's like 245, and
right,
I would say 6'3", 6'2", something like that. And so, I think, and that makes it really interesting. If you think that he's going to be primarily a linebacker that blitzes, does that change your thoughts on, is he somebody you would pick at 12 or,
I have a first round grade on the guy. I have a first round grade on the player. So, obviously I would think about him, if I have 15 names in the first round, I'd obviously think about him at 12. Is what
I don't think at linebacker in this draft, it's Dane Brugler would say. I don't think you're going to find, like, my first round linebackers. I list Jalen Walker at Georgia as a linebacker, and then I don't have another first round linebacker. Like,
me neither. And then, it goes Walker, Campbell, and then, Swissinger.
The tiny man. There's a tiny man.
Yeah, from UCLA. I mean, so you got 1, 2, 3. This is, I don't mean to derail the segment here, Jeff, a little bit, but when you look at the Cowboys per se, and there might be some other fans that watch our program and just for the draft content, but so bear with me here a little bit. But if you look at the Cowboys, this is where the Cowboys need to go out and get another Eric Kendricks or somebody like that. They're going to need, if they're going to play in free agency, you need to think about playing in free agency at linebacker, because the linebacker room, whether it be an outside linebacker or inside linebacker, my draft board does not reflect me looking at that right now. I mean, there's going to be some guys, like I say, Walker in the first, Campbell in the second, Swissinger from UCLA in the third. And then you get to Paul and Knight and Bassa and Carter, guys like that. Those are more like, if you go down into the fourth round, well, Dallas doesn't have a fourth round pick. So what, this is what's, can I ask another thing, Jeff? I'm going to hijack this thing again. You had a great game. I know you had a really good show planned today.
Hey, Brian.
Thank you. Let me ask you a question, Jeff, and just how this thing might play out for the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Say you don't take Ashton Jeanty at 12.
Okay.
I've had discussions with Zach Wolchuk, who works on the draft quite a bit.
Saw him last night, and we had a couple of beers.
There you go. And I hope you had a couple of Stellas, by the way, because we got plenty of those. Yeah, we got a lot of Stellas. If you need some Stellas, let me know.
All right. Make sure you download that Sleeper app also, by the way, and make your picks for who's going to have more or less than their projected stats each week.
There you go. So there you go. Do that as well. But see, to me, could you be in a possibility where all the running backs that you covet will be gone before you pick at 44?
I would say that is possible. And at that point, I would just rely on my running back take for life. Like Jeanty at 12 would be.
That anybody could.
Yeah. That there's 6 of them that I could take in the third.
Okay. That's what I'm saying. But at 44, say you lose, and this is just a hypothetical.
I only got one guy I want at 40. I only got one guy I want at 44.
One particular position or one running
I only got one guy I want at 44. And that is Omarion Hampton at North Carolina. I think he's the second best running back in the draft. That's the guy that I want. I think if you told me I could have him in the second round, I am thrilled with that pick, probably more so than Jeanty at 12. That, I think, would be a lovely pick.
He's got some DeMarco Murray.
Yeah.
When I watch him play, I think he's DeMarco Murray, and that's quality. But okay, let me paint this scenario then. say you lose, okay, Jeanty, you're not going to take Jeanty. You lose along the way to 44, you lose Johnson, you lose Hampton, you lose Henderson. On my board, if you were interested in taking a back at 44, you'd have to take a third round back.
Yeah.
Now, and that to me is, depending on what you want to do you want workhorse guy that can carry the ball, guy that never comes off the field? The first four guys that we're kind of talking about, and I include Henderson in that group, everybody else, I think you got to kind of pair with somebody, the Scataboos, those kinds of guys, the Sampsons from Tennessee.
Judkins doesn't, you don't think Judkins is above that group, the other Ohio State running back? Okay.
No,
I like it.
I like Judkins. It's not that I don't. I mean, they're all in the same mix. I would rather have Sampson from Tennessee myself. I think he's a little bit more of an explosive player myself. Yeah. But I'm just saying could Dallas be facing a situation where if they don't take Jeanty at 1, could they be taking a third round running back?
Brian, you know what's amazing about what's happening right now?
What's that?
You don't know that you're playing the game, but you're playing the game. That's the whole point of the game, is what happens if you don't at all of these different spots, right?
Yeah. Oh no, I just was curious, but these thoughts come into my head as we're playing the game. So I just wanted to make sure that. But I wanted to get your take, because I do think if you're the interesting part of this whole game is the running backs to me, because I think there might be a possibility. And Dallas got caught on this last year. And the only reason I bring this up, Jeff, is because you don't have a 4th round pick.
Hey, Brian, I'm aware. Thanks.
If you had a 4th round
this year or last year,
you wouldn't worry about this game. You wouldn't worry about me. You wouldn't worry about me sounding the alarm. And let me be honest. These 3rd round backs are fine. They're fine. I think they're going to need help with somebody else. Rico Dowdle at $6 million a year does not interest Jeff Kavanaugh. Am I correct about
Dowdle at
Julian? By the way, Julio asked about Devin Neal. Devin Neal, 3rd, 4th round guy to me. I don't see him. I wouldn't take Devin Neal from Kansas.
And he might be somebody's primary back. The thing about Devin Neal is, to me, and this is one man's eyes, to me, Devin Neal is the same sort of thing that I feel about Iowa Caleb Johnson, except to a little lower degree, which is why he's 3rd or 4th round instead of probably 2nd round. Like, I don't think that there's anything about Devin Neal that you go, whoo, boy. I think what you get from Devin Neal is he's going to absolutely see it right. He's going to absolutely do it right. He's going to absolutely finish that run. But I don't see explosion. I don't see that as a runner or passer. I see him as a steady guy.
Good
so
finisher.
If Devin Neal was my running back, then we would go back to what you said a second ago. And I'm like, all right, now who's the running back that I'm going to pair with him that is my zoom? Because I want some zoom with him. And my zoom guy in this draft is Jadon Blue, by the way, from Texas. I just need everybody to know that.
See, there you go. See, you have a plan. I mean, I need to get past the 5th round or get into the 5th round on some of these running backs, because maybe there's a guy there. Maybe you say with Blue, he would be up in the mix with. You have him in the 3rd round?
I have him in the 3rd round, but I acknowledge while looking around that it seems like I am way higher than anyone else, and everyone else really is concerned about fumbling problem.
Don't worry about everybody else.
So, but I set the expectation for people, because what I don't want is people, when somebody gets drafted in the 5th round, to be like, 3rd round, huh? Like, I'm not predicting. I'm telling you how good I think he is.
Don't worry about
that.
Don't worry about it. If people, I've always learned this, Jeff, and you've known this from working with me a long time, because I think you have the same attitude. Your board's your board. That's how you see the guys. Listen, if you want to criticize my board, let me see your board.
Yeah.
See your board. Put together a board for me. Let me see your board. And if you want to criticize my board, let me see your board. And I mean, I'll be happy. I mean, I've got mine all gridded up and ready to go. But if you want to criticize mine, we can have disagreements about these players. But there's some guys on this board that probably we have a little bit lower than they'll go. I think that's the thing about this draft. I think there's going to be several positions that are probably going to be taken earlier than where they probably need to be taken.
Okay, so when it comes to, as I make you circle back to my game, so when it comes to that affects. No, I'm sorry. Yeah,
because
it affects our
Yeah,
game.
go ahead.
At multiple of the different things. Let's say it is a world.
What's the number one thing? The number one thing, Jeff. What's the number one pairing? The number one pairing for you on this thing. The number
I acknowledged
one pairing.
before we started that I hope that it changes, because I hope that they sign 5 guys in free agency, and so now everything's changed, and we don't have to do anything. But I think they need. They need a starter at 3 technique. So defensive tackle is at the top. They need a starter at corner. So that's up at the top. They need. You can start Damone Clark and Leafau, I guess. You don't have to.
You're not going to start Damone
Okay.
Clark. Damone Clark, I don't. I think Damone
Well,
Clark
Zimmer's
is
gone. I just
probably
feel
out.
like they somehow hated each other
Well,
because Damone Clark's not terrible.
Damone Clark just doesn't pick things up
Okay.
quick enough. He's just not an instinctual linebacker. And so what's going to happen is, they'll coach him up and all that, but we've seen it now for the last couple of years. Good looking player, can finish and all those things, but it's a problem for him to
They need a starting running back. So I think the top ones are probably the fact that you need starters at your 3 technique defensive tackle, at corner, and at running back. But I very much want to upgrade at wide receiver, offensive line.
Better figure out wide receiver.
But the thing is compare that to corner or 3 tech or running back, where they just don't even have players on the roster. I just don't want the ones I have on the roster to be the starters at receiver.
Is offensive line the furthest from your view right now?
Not from mine, but from what I think they think. I desperately want to help the offensive line, whether it's at right guard or left tackle. And that does not mean that I quit on Tyler Guyton or that I say he sucks forever. But I do say that if you Mozzie Smith this thing at left tackle and just go, oh, well, we drafted a guy in the first round. It's year 2 now, so he'll be great. He's our starting left tackle. I think that's dumb football. You need to get ready to go try to win football. And at the moment, Tyler Guyton has shown me nothing that says he can help me win at football. If we come out of the offseason and that's different, then sweet. He can go try to take somebody's job. But I'm not moving forward as if Brock Hoffman, I'm happy that he's my right guard, or that Tyler Guyton is my left tackle. I'm not moving forward happy about those things, or that Terrence Steele is my right tackle. And maybe because I'm iffy at least 3 of those spots at the moment, it protects Terrence Steele in the terms of he'll be on this roster for 1 more year. But I'm not cruising along as if that's cool. So I think offensive line's a huge need, and I could see them ignoring it completely because they have bigger ones, and the way that they tend to treat their first-round picks is to pretend it's fine no matter what.
Yeah. It's to me, you go out and you draft Simmons from Ohio State, and by the way, I heard that's a patella tendon.
Oh, that's a bad one.
That was pretty significant. Yeah, that's a bad one. So. Yeah, that's when we had not heard what it was. But that's the great thing about us being here in the Super Bowl. You run into people who would know. And I heard that it was a patella tendon. It was never reported what it was.
Which is always worrisome. Yeah,
I never
see
saw
people saying his knee. And I'm like, if it was his ACL, wouldn't you be saying it's his ACL?
No, it's his patella tendon is what it is. So there might be some change that needs to be talked about there. But yeah, and I don't have – listen – and Rich asked, why all the hate for Hoffman? Didn't he not do a good job? Rich, yeah, he did a nice job. I don't trust him for 17 games. That's kind of where I'm at with him. I think he is a 5 to 6 game player.
I think Brock Hoffman got a double boost. Brock Hoffman got the boost of we didn't expect him to play well at all. And he got the boost of he was replacing a guy that was clearly playing like he was in a hospital.
Not very good.
Was playing not good football because he
not
was
good at all.
Up, or maybe just because he's getting old. And the fact that you stepped in for that, I think, makes you look even better. I think Brock Hoffman can absolutely start for an NFL team if somebody goes down. I think he's a guy that I want on my roster. I don't want to plan for him to be my starting right guard.
I don't think so either. Jeff, real quick on that, the plan, would you consider moving after investing a year in Cooper Beebe? Would you consider, now I haven't found a center in this draft yet that I like. Haven't seen one yet. And, and I'm in 100 players into this. Last year at this time, I probably had
I've seen
4
people talking
guys
about that North
that I
Dakota
would
State kid that maybe he would be all the way moved to center,
Yeah.
but I haven't watched him
Yeah.
yet.
Well, yeah, I mean, but that's what I'm saying. So but do you throw away a year of Cooper Beebe being center to play him at right guard and then try and find another center?
Yeah, if you could. I mean, the thing is it's cool that Cooper Beebe has that year of experience of trying to do that. And
Mhm.
if he ends up being your center forever, then it's
Mhm.
great. It's great that you did that. But you also know
Yeah.
that he's played guard forever. So if your best combination
Yeah.
would require you to move Cooper Beebe from center to guard, I'd do it in a heartbeat. And I'd say, hey, man, sorry about what we did at center, but at
Yeah.
least if something goes terribly wrong here, you could still go help us out there. And I know what you can do at guard. I know you got that thing figured out.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I'd be cool with that. I don't
Yeah.
mind, but we got to find a center.
Absolutely. Yep.
All
there
right.
you go.
Here we go, Brian.
Still not playing
No,
your
it's fine.
game yet, right?
It's
Go
going to be
ahead.
the rapid fire game. Watch this. Running back, we only have one choice in the first round. So everybody who wanted to do running back and then wide receiver or running back and then defensive lineman. So your first round running back in that scenario is Ashton Jeanty, the end. Second round wide receiver, Brian, who is your guy? If that's a realistic option in the second round for the Cowboys.
I think you have to look. I think, the way it's stacked on my board is Golden, Savion Williams, Ayamanor from Stanford, and Besh from TCU. I think realistically, you would have to think about Williams, Ayamanor, and Besh. I think Golden will be gone. I think there's a chance that Besh might be gone after what we saw from him in the Senior Bowl stuff. But I'm kind of those guys that I'm looking at right there are more X-type players. Does that make sense for our discussions here?
So what we would say is if they're going to take a running back and a wide receiver, we'll pluck.
I would say it would likely be in my guess, because I think that maybe, I don't know if Williams will be gone. I don't know if Ayamanor will be gone. Again, Besh might be the wild card here, but I would take any one of those 3 to pair with Jeanty.
Okay, so we're going to say we took Ashton Jeanty and we took, I'm not going to say Savion Williams because I think he's too fun, and that means the Cowboys wouldn't take him. They're going to want something that they're more sure of exactly what his role is. So you can have Jeanty and Jack Besh out of TCU.
That'd be nice. I think you helped your offense a little bit there.
Give me your first round wide receiver at number 12.
Likely McMillan will be gone, but stranger things have happened. You and I worked a draft where our favorite wide receiver landed at 17.
Our favorite wide receiver that landed at 17 was a better prospect than Ted McMillan by a mile. I'll just tell you that.
No question. No question. I think it would come down to Burden or Egbuka. I would personally have Burden over Egbuka. But I think that, and I would be happy with either one of those guys. So let's just have a little fun. I think maybe the Egbuka will be a little bit cleaner of a player. And so let's take him.
All right. We have Emeka Egbuka. And in the second round, who is your running back? We already did this whole what if. There is a what if that you can't get any of the guys that you'd really like to target there. But in this scenario.
So wait a minute. You said Egbuka in the first. Second is what you said? Okay, in the first. So who's my second round running back? I'm gonna take a gamble. I think Johnson from Iowa will be gone. I think Hampton could be gone from North Carolina. I'm going to take Henderson, the running back. So I'm going to go Ohio State back to back here.
And so that's the game. Would you rather, for you in the chat, have Ashton Jeanty and Jack Besh as your first 2 picks, or would you rather have Emeka Egbuka and Travion Henderson as your first 2 picks?
Yeah.
Ooh, and that's a toughie.
The way I'm going to
got me Hampton, I would take the second group easy.
I know you would have, but I took Hampton off the board because I think you're thinking the right thing about Hampton. I don't think he's going to be there.
Yeah.
I took the guys that I thought potentially could be there, because I don't think if Johnson or Hampton show up at 44, then hand the card in. Hand the card in. But I'm thinking that both those guys are gone. So I went with Henderson. And then I don't have another second round running back.
Running back and defensive line, which would mean Ashton Jeanty. And who would be your second round defensive tackle? Defensive tackle is going to be weird in this draft class too, because I could totally see a world where the guy that you want at 44 as the Cowboys, that like 5 guys, maybe 6 guys go between your first pick and your second pick. My favorite, not at 12 overall defensive tackle, is Walter Nolan at Ole Miss. I think just because of when he's on and the stuff I have seen from him, he can do stuff that Mason Graham can't dream of doing. Like he has a monster in him. He could be a double-digit sack guy in the NFL. And so like I like the ability that shows up sometimes so much. But I saw him going to Cowboys at 12 in a mock draft. And I'm like, God, that's really seems early, but it's a weird D tackle class. He's my dream, but I would imagine he's gone. Kenneth Grant, Michigan nose tackle, gone.
We're talking second round, right now.
Second round.
I think realistically, you're probably looking at Williams.
Tyleek Williams, he's a nice nose tackle. I love him.
I think you're realistically looking at Harmon from
he's the one that's going to be one of the crazy ones that I have no idea where he's going, because so many people are mocking him in the top 20, and I'm like, not for me. But if he's at 44, let's talk about it.
Walker from Kentucky is another one.
Gigantic man, no idea what he's doing, plays too high, but he's gigantic, and he moves incredibly well for being gigantic.
You will now. You're talking about third round guys potentially at 44 that if it gets wiped out. Sanders from South Carolina, Norman Lott, a hyphenated name
played
from
like
Tennessee
8 snaps last year, and I have no idea why.
And then Alexander from Toledo, you need to watch him as well. Darius Alexander.
So with these
Toledo, which should be a third
these two
round
position groups, we would say Jeanty in the first, and let's say Tyleek Williams, the Ohio State nose tackle, in the second round. And if you wanted to go D-line and then running back, that gets harder because you really need Mason Graham to be available for this game. Otherwise, for me,
but go ahead and take Nolan.
That pick is Nolan for me if you don't have that option.
Yeah.
And then your second round running back, we already played that game. So pick your random name.
Yeah.
So in that scenario, I'd rather take the running back first and then see which of the guys at 44 are available.
Better quality at 1 technique defensive tackle than 3 technique defensive tackle, in my opinion, in the second round.
I agree with you. We got to knock out some super chats. Mutt face. No, I still haven't watched Ashton Chisholm in the Shrine Bowl because I've been on vacation, and that's my fault.
You know what? I've heard some really, really, really good things about him, and I promise you, the guy keeps asking, keeps paying. I promise you, next week when we do this,
I will go track Ashton Chisholm down like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, I've heard some really good things.
I just need to get home to good internet
things.
at my computer so I can get the damn tape back on. And shout out to Tony. Would you guys consider trading Micah Parsons for 3 firsts? Stop trying to trade the best players in football. I would not.
We do that in basketball, but we don't get the return that we deserve. So
don't forget to fire Nico, everybody, on your way out today. All right, Brian, I got to get over to Radio Row. I got to get ready for a show. Check out Brian with Vach and Fan.
Sorry I was late on you, Jeff. My apologies.
I broke everything. Anybody who's here got to watch me stumble drunk my ass. They couldn't hear me for a minute, and then I couldn't hear you. Like, all of the problems are right here, baby. They're right here. Everybody have a great
Jeff, I'll see you over at I'll see you at Radio
Row. Hey, Brian. Remember, everybody, you have no idea what anybody's going through. And in my case, it's not anything I'm actually going through. I'm just